Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Pro Modcasts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a best of three, with the first match being on Antigua Bay. Playing on the Tau corner, we've got Tonkata Sucks, and playing in the Space Marine corner, we have got Stormtrout. Stormtrout will be opening with triple Scouts, a Servitor, Chapel Barracks, and a Plasma Generator, whereas Tonkata will be going for a couple of Pathfinder teams, Aircraft Builder, Tower Barracks, and a Plasma Generator. So it's been quite a while since we've seen these players. Have been on a bit of a hiatus, shall we say, but they're back and raring to go in this best of three. Not sure if they originally intended it to be a best of three, but they played 3 matches, and, well, you know, it's exciting. None of the games were particularly long. I've not watched any of the games all the way through apart from one. But, you know, it's just nice to be able to see some smaller games, you know, get to see a little bit more unusual build orders and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm very excited to be sharing this with you guys today. So Space Marines, bit of an interesting matchup against the Tau, because generally in Dawn of War Pro mod, Space Marines do like to kind of mass up their Marine squads, use their combined arms of heavy bolters and missile launchers and get a good firing line going. But the Tau do as well. The Tau are, as obvious as it normally is, Tau have got lots of railguns. I mean, they're going to go for their Tau Commander and their Fire Warrior team to open up, which is pretty standard. Also working together with these Pathfinders, once they get their marker-like drones, able to mark their targets and increase the overall damage that are done to them. I mean, Tau in this game, you've got to kind of layer up your firing lines. Lots of limits on their units, so you can't really spam out one particular unit. You have to make them work in tandem for the greater good and all that good stuff. Do love the models in Dawn of War Pro mod for the sigils and stuff. Anyway, never mind ogling those Marine boys. These Pathfinders are being harassed and harried by the Scouts over yonder, but they're going to ignore them. And we've got a Tau Commander over here doing the exact same, going to kill both of those Servitors if he's not too careful. Going to chase after them, but Space Marines are going to be coming in for support. Pathfinders will get this critical location. I imagine Scouts will probably try and decap that at some point. Servitor does go down, so that's 2 on the old kill counter for the Tau Commander, but he's now going to be caught in a corner by the Space Marines, but he's not too worried, I imagine. He can always jump out. And a fully fledged squad of Fire Warriors coming down, more or less instantly wiping out their Scouts. I wonder if the Sniper Rifle play is going to be an idea for this. Not necessarily for the Fire Warriors, they are low heavy infantry, so won't like one shot, one kill them, but these Pathfinders, that's probably what you want to go for. Especially because without those Pathfinders, the Tau Fire Warriors are going to be a little waxing and waning in the range department. Pardon me. We do have a Force Commander now coming out, crossing the river, getting his cape a little bit moist as he sees this listing post, and he's not wanting to see that being erected any further. Not going to deny it, but will certainly be crushing this Earthcast Builder under his boot heel, walking softly and carrying a big gun, at least a chainsaw in this regard. Tau having a think about going into the Space Marine base, but they're starting to turn around. They will see these Scouts here and probably wipe them out quick as you like. Listing post might go down. In fact, it probably is going to go down before these Tau Fire Warriors come over here. Also got a 3rd squad of Space Marines, so a big investment into Tier 1 here. Now going to cross over with these Fire Warriors as they're in the negative cover. Scouts also going to... oh, they're going to start walking into the negative cover themselves. Not an ideal situation. We've got these Space Marines flanking around the side over the distance. Some Pathfinders capturing bits and bobs. A snare trap going on these Space Marines to prevent them from running away. Force Commander punching that Tau Commander away, but, I mean, he's more or less full health still. So he's not worrying about that too much. One squad of Fire Warriors have been taken down, and Space Marines are still en masse. Going to continue their push into the Tau base. Fire Warriors unable to move and fire at the same time, so they're really at a disadvantage here. Are going to get a 2nd squad, or a replacement squad, shall we say, of Fire Warriors coming from that Tau barracks right there. Force Commander, he's got that Tau booty on his mind. He's not going to let him go for a while, but Tau Fire Warriors able to stabilise and fire back. Gone for their Mark II pulse weaponry from the, well, whatever building they've researched that from. Which I do quite like, because it allows the Tau to do a little bit of research in Tier 1, which is little bit different from what they have in the vanilla variant. One snare trap going to go down, but not going to be activated by the Force Commander. Like we say, he does walk softly. Fire Warriors over here, now being fired by 2 Space Marines. Listing post has been upgraded there, and its additional firing support will be quite useful. Force Commander now being attacked by that snare, and with that, he's probably going to... There we go, he's going to go back to where it's safe. Oh, never mind me blooming talking about researching things from over here. They built a path to enlightenment over there. Just away from my knowledge and understanding. Fair play, Tonkata sucks. For a second I thought Dawn of War Pro diverged even further from vanilla from what I was familiar with, but nope. That is not the case. Fire Warrior squad here almost been wiped out, but managing to get an extra reinforcement there. Tower Commander now looking less than pretty. Pathfinders over here still doing what they do. And the Fire Warriors now once again being sent on a bit of a wild goose chase. Pathfinders over here have got their Marklight drones, so they should be able to support their lads in. Not sure why these Space Marines haven't been moved into close combat stance, but then again I imagine that's because, like we've said many times on this channel before, chasing after people in melee is not usually the best way to spend your DPS if they refuse to engage. Pathfinders will be stricken down, and the Space Marines are going to go back home. Unable to really contend with these Fire Warriors. I imagine they were probably thinking about bashing this stuff over here, but the constant harass and harryment from these Fire Warriors, yeah, certainly not a thing that they want to do. We will need to start recapping things. 83 and 20 compared to 89 and 20. So while a really big engagement going on there, not much in the way of an economic advantage being earned by the Space Marines, are going to now start going for their sniper rifles. Tower Commander with his Commander Decoy drone will reduce the amount of damage that will be taken in range. And the Force Commander, not sure if he's gone for his eye, he's gone for his Iron Halo, which I do believe, don't quote me on this, it reduces the amount of range damage he takes, he says, as the Force Commander gets taken down by long-range plasma fire. But we do see some heavy bolter turrets. No, not turrets, just regular portable heavy bolters on the Space Marines. He's gone for tier 2, he has gone for tier 2. So that's quite nifty, quite neat. Although these scouts with their sniper rifles, don't want to put them on the front lines. They should be quite comfortable behind this solid wall of ceramite. And there we go, one, in fact double of those decoy drones being taken down. Tower Commander nearly feeling the full force of those heavy bolters. And the tower unable to really push out of their base at the moment. That's okay, I mean, fairly evens in the economies and fairly even in tech. Although this... Oh, never mind, he's gone for tier 3 and now going to go for... Oh, he was thinking about researching that teaching, but then... he's going to go for some Vespids instead. So one good idea that he's going to go for here, rather than focus more on ranged options, if you get some Vespids to jump in the middle of these guys and stop them from using their heavy bolters, that's, well, you shut them down, don't you? It's a wonderful idea. This listing post over here, and dear oh dear, this Earthcast builder being caught out in the open, turned into bits and kibbles. Do have a skull probe out and about, which will be able to... Oh, I was going to be able to stay infiltrated, but no, he has been seen by something. Oh, the Tower Commander. In Dawn of War Pro, if you're not familiar, all commanders have infiltration detection, but it's like quite a short range. It's like maybe, if I'm hazarding a guess, it's about this wide, if memory serves. Oh, Vespid's coming in. But then going to engage in range. Going to get out just in the nick of time. I mean, how expensive are you guys? Yeah, you're not cheap at all. 75 and 15. But allow these guys to get into number, while supported by Fire Warriors and also the Markalites of these Pathfinders. They should be doing alright, but these scouts are going to be a mean customer if they're allowed to fire. But in saying that, actually, I'll take that back. That was double shots by looks of things on one Fire Warrior. I didn't really kill him. But like we said, they are low heavy infantry, so able to resist that a little bit. We'll turn our attention now to this listing post over here, which is fair enough. And are we going to see anything else? We are going to see a machine cult. And at the moment, the Tau will struggle against any kind of machinery coming out. They've built their composition to be a counter for all these squads of infantry here. So whether they'll be able to counter any kinds of machines coming out. Have we got anything coming out at the moment? No, not quite. Does have the money for it.
Yes, my lord.
It's out and out. Oh, we've got some crew coming in with a little doggy in tow, although the dog's been killed instantly. Now we know who the bad guys are. We're going to be tying up these scouts. Vespid's round the side. Going to throw down a... Oh no, that was a snare trap from the Tau Commander, but they're going to engage in close combat. Force Commander once again trying to slap away that Tau Commander, but he's just going to jump over on the side. Fire Warriors, it's like duck hunting season, throwing down a grenade as well, just for good measure. Vespids, while not doing all that much damage, and also being stuck with some negative morale, are at least doing their job. And these Space Marines, too closely placed together, unable to really get any shots off. And the crew going to reconvene with their dogger. The revenge of the Kroot Hound. And a land speeder coming in on the flanks. Going to make some quick work of these Fire Warriors if they don't focus it down. Land speeder is a light vehicle, so infantry weapons will be able to kill it, but you've got to really focus fire on it. Can't allow it to stay up for too long. Although, nice idea, they're going to move into the heavy cover and then start firing at it. And a couple of volleys should be able to sort it out. Space Marines over here, well, Scouts, sorry, are going to be jumped at by these crew. Go and get them. Get them good. There we go, Scout's been taken down. Managing to, oh, maybe even a full squad wipe there, potentially. Yep, full squad wipe. And the crew over here will now start bashing up that listing post. So land speeders can either decide to try and chunk down these Fire Warriors, or retreat to defend their base. Looks like that they will. In their heavy cover, unable to push them off. Force Commander being rebuilt. And more Servitors coming out. 77 and 30 for Space Marines, compared to 103 and 40. And they are going to go for some Kroot Shapers, as well as, oh, we're going to go for some XV-88 broadside battlesuits. Don't normally see those, well, in any version of Dawn of War. Quite exciting to see them. Although, the Kroot's now been taken out in full. Very sad time for all. Look at the speed that this guy can move. A little bit quicker than what I'm familiar with, but does allow for the rapid redeployment. Although still quite slow in stomping the old feet on the floor. Like he's doing a... Oh, what's it called? That country with the... Ah, the Maui. Able to do the hacker and all that. Stomping the feet. Screaming to the high heavens. Can't remember the name. I think it's like Alien Soldier or something, or some band like that, but there's a band that sing in the Maori language, and they've got some really cool music. Wonderful music to lift weights to, if I ever did that. Anyway, Pathfinder's going to be scared away by the Land Speeder and the Force Commander. Now, these Land Speeders are not going to be standing up at all in any way, shape, or form against these broadside battlesuits. And look at the range on that bad boy. Scout's instantly been taken care of. And a second XV-88 broadside battlesuit coming in. Alrighty-roo. I mean, this is quite the staunch firing line. Especially with a Kroot Shaper in there with his little rifle. And his bones dangling away. So he'll be able to tie up some infantry. Space Marines don't really have that much left. They've got some, well, one squad of Space Marines with quadruple plasma guns, so they should be alright, but surprised I haven't seen any close combat units. You'd think that they'd go for at least one Grey Knight squad, or maybe even a assault squad, just to kind of do what the Tau did, where you get at least one squad being harassed and harried in close combat. There we go, Fire Warriors moving forward just a little bit. And these broadside battlesuits absolutely annihilating anything they can get their hands on. Kroot Shaper getting close and personal, but not really doing all that much. Well, he's at least providing a little bit of vision. The Space Marine squad absolutely taken to the cleaners. Listing post also going to be shimmied and shaked away. And the siege of the Space Marine base begins. All they have to do is just nudge their broadside battlesuits up one at a time. Going to go for the Mark III pulse weaponry, so even more deadly at ranged. These land speeders are going to have to work overtime here. Certainly going to give these Vespids a second thought about going into their base, but they're going to jump away themselves. Now, what can the Space Marine player do at this current stage of the game? Not much, really. The The portents are not favourable for him. I imagine it would just be just a singular case of... I don't know, just... Grey Knights... Ah, look at that. There we go, Grey Knights. Go, Grey Knights, and grit your teeth and hope for the best. And hope that these land speeders can provide some sort of ranged assistance while you go about it. Snipers over here, getting some good shots in on these Fire Warriors. Servitor going to come and try and save this plasma generator. And here we go, they're moving out. Although a little bit too soon, might want to wait for those Grey Knights before you do anything. But yeah, Grey Knights, attach your Force Commander in there, and then once you get into close combat, detach your Force Commander in the hopes that he could then scare more things around. This guy's not sure if he's researched his Furious Charge on these, but if they have, certainly add something to the mix. Sacred Artifact on the way as well. So maybe a Chaplain as well would be a really good thing for them. One Tau, Fire Warrior, intended to mincemeat on the floor. More Scout Snipers moving in. And here we go. Push from the Space Marine player potentially. Tau Commander throwing down a snare trap smack bang in the middle, so anyone who charges down here is not going to have a very Merry Christmas. Also the drone squad coming in nice and stealthed. Sniper's trying to get a couple of good shots on this Tau Commander. And by the looks of things, Stormtrout throws out the GG. And there we go, we're going to end it there. Yeah, to be honest, once that snare trap came down there, any kind of charge coming down here would have just been absolutely ripped apart by all these railguns and stuff. So yeah, okay, that was game 1. Let's go on to game 2. Okay, so game 2, we're on Blood River, and we have got Tonkata as the Orks, and we have got Stormtrout as the Space Marines, but this time the Blood Angels, just to spice things up. Now, Orks do start with a free squad of Slugger Boys already, so able to cap those points nice and quickly, so they can be good and aggressive as the game goes on. Tonkata, well known for his burner bomb plays that the Grots can throw out. Commonly referred to as the burner bomb boy, or at least that's what I refer to him as. That's a nickname I'm trying to get to stick. Whether that will stick or not, I am not entirely sure. Yeah, just I imagine for Stormtrout, he's probably going to go for the standard opening. Not too many scouts, probably a Force Commander, squad of Space Marines, maybe even some Grey Knights, just because, I mean, when that big mech comes out, oh no, never mind. Tonkata not going to open with the big mech straight away. He's going to go for some hard boys and then into big mechs. So expecting some Space Marines with some heavy bolters maybe, or maybe just to resist any scout sniper play. I mean, these guys, medium heavy infantry, so very tanky. Although can only get a maximum of 3 in the early game. As the tiers increase, your squad sizes do increase as well. But in the early games, your squads are a little bit smaller than they would normally be. Listing posts being put up on their usual places. Nothing too crazy or scary here. As the Force Commander looks like he's going to be showing his pearly whites. One squad of Space Marines. And Space Marine on Shooter Boy action. Pound for pound, Space Marines are probably going to take it, just based on their sheer amount of health. But now going up against a listing post as well. Maybe want to hold back young Padawan and wait for your Force Commander to come out. Main priority is securing this relic over here. No one's going to go for this relic on the top left. All the action on the bottom right, where it should be. Space Marines potentially... Oh, that looked like they were going to anticipate a push and hide around in heavy cover. But never mind. Hard boys, Shield Boys and a big mech looking to take on this tawdry force of Blood Angels. Force Commander going to come in from the rear and see if he can inspire his men into feats of greater valor. Big Mech does not come out with his teleporter, so we'll have to wait for that research to pop before he's able to jump straight into the middle of all these lads. But he's alright at the moment. He's got quite a powerful pistol. Take it down. A couple of scouts there. In fact, that's a full squad wipe for the scouts. One Hardboy's been sent to the sky by a mighty swing of the old chainsword. Space Marines on the side, firing away at the Hardboys as the Force Commander is being sent on a wild goose chase. Second squad of Space Marines soon to pop, and I imagine if we see some upgrades, there we go, a listing post fortified position add-on will really help the Space Marines defend this place. But it's quite a serious assault from the Orks. Orks now going for their big shooters on the Shooter Boys as well, so If they can remain out of close combat, which these Space Marines are quite aptly now engaging them with their meaty fists, not drawing any blades or anything, just going to beat them with the butts of their bolters. Oh, that was a bit of alliteration, wasn't it? Beat them with the butts of their bolters. That buttery biscuit base. Something, something, cut that into a wrap. Either way, this entire Ork army has been killed. Quite the big problem, and Tonkata already throws out that GG. So like I said in the early game of the first game, this was the only game I watched all the way through because it was just quite short. But I just like that. It was like, right, okay, I'm going to send all my army in, hope for that early win, but didn't get it. And, well, now with the Space Marines, of that sheer amount, there's realistically, I mean, he could pull it back, but it would be quite hard fought. And, yeah, okay, nice one. So we'll move on to the third and final game, 1-on-1 for all. Alright, and we have the final game of this best of 3 on Outer Reaches. Stormtrout still playing as the Space Marines, and we have got Tonkata Sucks as the Imperial Guard. So the winner of this best of 3 will be decided by this match. Infantry Command being placed down, Plasma Generator, all the usual gubbins, nothing too terrifying or scary for these players. I imagine the Imperial Guard do have a slight advantage on this map, considering that this map is basically just all corridors, isn't it? Don't know why I can't zoom out more on my Dawn of War Pro mod. Need to somehow install some sort of camera on this, but I don't know how to. My technical skills are not great. I just click the camera mod in the mod manager. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, like I said, they've got lots of narrow choke points around on these places, which are definitely in favour of the Imperial Guard. Also, if they're getting a Basilisks out as well, I mean, the whole battlefield is basically within range of a Basilisk, so will really help them should they choose to go for that. Force Commander being the opening for the Space Marines. Triple Scouts as well, because, I mean, I imagine Sniper play will be a lot more useful against the Guardsmen. Guardsmen, anything crazy? Are they going to go for Kasrkin Squad, which are able to capture these strategic points quite quickly compared to their regular Guardsmen. And yeah, pretty much that's all that's going to be going on in this early game. Space Marines going to not go too aggressive, but decide to focus on capturing these furthest and farthest points, while also having a little bit of a sniff at this strategic point in the middle of some scouts. Oh no, they're deciding to have a look at this critical location down here, which is what these Guardsmen will do. And these Guardsmen have been reinforced to their maximum number, so they're going to be no pushover. Morale-wise, quite easy to break if you kill a good amount of their units. Also with these flamers as well, they should be quite easy to mop up, but it's not often you see flamers. Not often you see people going the morale breaking route, especially against the Imperial Guard, because in Tier 2 obviously they go for their Commissar, which just makes morale basically a moot point. Commander Squad coming up for Psyker, which they will have researched in their little... Did they get a Psyker flag for these? Ah, there we go, look at that, a little Psyker flaggy Medoodad. That's quite cute. But yeah, they've gone for their Psyker, so no Priest in this early game. Able to assist their allies by reducing the amount of range damage that's incoming. Anyone nearby? Got a minefield down here as well, but will be spotted by the Force Commander. Second Psyker on the way out as well. So double single target zapping. Do quite like the forward floaty bits that they do while they're doing that, and dear oh dear, that Force Commander being caught out quite considerably. Double slur, not sure if the slur stacks. He's got a green haze about him. Not the hangover you want on the battlefield. Commissar going for a big swipe of his sword as the Space Marines fall back into the heavy cover. Might want to see this listing post being upgraded here for defensive purpose I. Although this post over here, that's the one that's going to be upgraded, which questionable, but he started it already. There's now worse to get halfway through a fortified position add-on only to then cancel it. They should be alright. They've got a full squad of Space Marines now. Got some scouts on the way. A second squad of Space Marines to add for support. So these Kasrkins do not look like they'll be surviving for much longer. Oh, they're split in two. That was really confusing. I thought all of a sudden there were two squads there. But nope. There's just the one. So they will survive, but with only one remaining. And 50 blue and 5 green. In the early stages, I mean, how much economy? Yeah, they've only got 10 green money incoming, so quite a substantial loss there, I have to say. Victory countdown for Stormtrout. He's got, what, he's got one here, one there. Has he got the southern one as well? Oh no, the Imperial Guard's got the southern one. They're now going to start bashing the listing posts on the northern side, which will allow the Imperial Guard to move down into the middle. One scout going to go down. No snipers on these boys. Has there been any research for the... No, not yet. No scout snipers on them, which is fairly unusual. But then again, he has put a lot of money into these Space Marines. And I mean, if you don't go for your snipers, you go for your heavy bolters, don't you? Against the squishy infantry of the Guardsmen. It all does the same job. Doesn't matter how you kill them, so long as you kill them, that's the main thing. Yeah, we'll be cracking open this strategic point. They are losing the one on the north side. Do need to turn their attention to these critical locations at some point in the near future. Cassicans will go for that. Their decapping is also, I do believe, increase in speed, if I'm not mistaken. But don't hold your breath on that, as that is a fairly common thing for me to do. Space Marines trying to move a little bit away from this heavy cover, seeing if they could draw out the Imperial Guard. Because you don't really want to engage people in heavy cover if you can avoid it. Look at this swarm of scouts coming in. Not a bad situation. Got some grenade launchers coming in now. And I mean, this is a lot of firepower coming in from the Space Marine perspective. Now going for their heavy bolter guns, but these grenade launchers will knock these guys around, forcing them to not be able to fire. And the firing rate of the grenade launchers ain't too terrible. Force Commander being double zapped once again. Command Squad being pushed back after losing a couple of their own models. Cassicans doing their temporary infiltration thingy-madoodad. And there we go, now the scouts have gone for the snipers, but too close to the front lines. Sergeant being inspiring his lads to keep their morale full away from these flamers. Wonderful flaming effect as well, do have to say. And yeah, the Space Marines have taken quite the spanking here. Honestly, it was those grenade launchers, I think. I imagine the scouts might have been better served by not necessarily going for the snipers, but essentially going to kind of engaging these guardsmen in close combat, just to prevent them from being able to get their shots off while those heavy bolters made quick work of them. Force Commander not giving up there. Not until all these Cassicans are sent all the way back home. Listing post for the Guardsmen now been popped in this central strategic point here. 95 and 20 compared to 107 and 40. So the nope, I can get my words up properly. So the Space Marines do have the economic advantage here. Now have you gone for tier 2, Mr. Space Marine player? Yes, indeed you have. According to that build add-on thingy-madoodad. Imperial Guard not quite the same though, but they have gone for their tactical control. Reinforcing their Cassicans here. Now Space Marines going to push down on this central point here as the Imperial Guard recapture all their gubbins up north. Commander now going to go for double psychers. No Commissar in sight. He's looking to snipe out that Force Commander. And he certainly will be able to do so. I mean, he's got only half health at the moment. Some frag grenades for the Space Marines. Now, these frag grenades are going to do some serious damage to the light armor of the Guardsmen. Especially if they manage to get them in these, like, little narrow corridors where they all kind of group together. The AoE damage is not to be underestimated. Now we're going to move in. One grenade being thrown on these Space Marines. Wonderful little explosion there. Not allowing those heavy bolters to set up. Second grenade going to go down as well. Zap on the Force Commander, going to slow him down. And might even potentially get him. If they do get him, it will reduce the morale of all these Space Marines and scouts nearby. But Force Commander narrowly surviving, which will really help these guys. Snipers trying to get some more shots off, but these flamers just melting their faces off. There we go, some Grey Knights coming in. Learning from the previous game. The stalwart zealots. Not got their fierce charge on this, so will still take a lot of... Oh dear, that actually been knocked around by those grenade launchers. Losing their morale, also been slowed down by the Psyche here. Yeah, the Grey Knights don't seem to have actually done all that much, but while this is going on, one squad of Guardsmen absolutely smacked down and the command squad also. So bit of a mixed engagement for both players, really, but the Space Marines do seem to have come out on top in that engagement there. Do have snipers down here who will catch these Castigans off guard. Get a couple of shots off, and that sniper rifle does take a fair while to recharge its shot. Got a mechanized command with a Basilisk depot being researched. Space Marine's going to go for... Oh, you've gone for your tier... Oh, you've tier 3 now. Question mark. Can I never remember if the number 2 is for the second upgrade for tiers or the first upgrade for tiers. Ultimate Apocalypse has brought my brain on this, because they're starting tier 0 and their tier 1 is tier 2 in other games, and I can never remember which game does what for their tiers. Either way, they've gone up in the world, which isn't that nice. Imperial Guard rebuilding their forces, now going for a combination of light flamers and grenade launchers. Seems to be quite keen on that morale breaking stuff there. It's doing them well so far. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Castigans infiltrated and very speedily moving forward. Although they will be spotted by this infiltrated skull probe over here. Is it infiltrated? You are infiltrated, yes. Basilisk now also throwing down a couple of big boomies. Although, whether it's accurate or not... Oh, a grenade just missing those Grey Knights just then. Could have potentially got a couple of those models out of position. Space Marines engaging, and to be honest, once the Space Marines once they're set up, it'll be quite a difficult engagement for the Guardsmen, but when those Basilisks knock these guys around, that's the time for these guys to swarm in, get their damage done. Also now got a Commissar over there, which will increase the overall accuracy for the dudes nearby him. So a nice combination of heroes here. Apothecary for the Space Marines. Once he joins their ranks, they will be able to keep them fighting fit. Now going to move forward. Basilisk also joining in. After all, you can't really miss if you're nice and close. Commissar inspiring his boys, further increasing their accuracy and general will to live. Basilisk in the middle, charging forward. That's what you want to see. Can't miss if you shoot them point blank in the face. Now, it was probably a misclick there. Command squad are going to go down. Yeah, really needed that Basilisk to... Oh dear, that was just a... Was that just like the most epic grenade anyone's ever seen in their life? Did I miss some... Oh, good lord, that's a lot of dead Imperial Guard there. Basilisk now going to try and hold the line by himself. Heavens to Betsy, get the replay on that. The instant multiple camera angles. Tonkata throws out the GG, so Stormtrout 2-1 takes the overall win in this best of 3. But my goodness, what an exciting trio of matches, I do have to say. But yeah, it's nice to see these guys play again. It's been a while since I've seen these boys in the old replay folder. But yeah, cool, nice one. If you want to support the channel, £1 a month does get you one extra game a week on the old Patreon. There's also a Discord where really cool things happen all the time. Mine's been Mr. Landshark. Pleasure as always, never as all... sorry, hold on. My name is Mr. Landshark. Pleasure as always, never a chore. I will see you in a bit. Peace.